Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Welcome home again. In real time, it's day 5 of our Habitat for Humanity Blitz Build. And guess what? We did it. Our little house is finished and ready for the homeowners to move in. Today we'll be testing the house for energy efficiency and ventilation. We'll see the exterior details and the finished kitchen. Decorator B. Smith will be here to take us on a tour of the finished interior, and we'll say goodbye to some very tired volunteers. Also, we'll have a special surprise for the new homeowners. So stick around, it's great to have you home again.
Sears presents Bob Vila's Home Again.
Well, this is an exciting day. Although we've watched the progress in the construction of this house over the last several weeks, in real time, the house was built in 4.5 days, what we called a blitz build with Habitat for Humanity. And as you can see behind me, we are now complete down to the pretty landscaping in the front porch, the window box, the shutters on the windows, and of course the inside has been furnished. So we're going to be giving you a look at the exterior and the interior today, and we're going to start off with Jim Killoran from Habitat.
Hi,
You're
Bob.
the president of Westchester Habitat for Humanity, right?
Yes, that's right, Bob. And
Now, have you ever been involved in something quite as fast as this?
I haven't. It's been a great effort. It's the first time for us here in Westchester, but it was a concert of more than 500 volunteers working where you heard the music of saws and hammers and drills, a cacophony of music of builders helping to get a great house put together.
How many Habitat houses have already been built in Yonkers?
We are working on 5 rehabs now. Actually, this is our first completion of one, and we hope to be completing the other 5 and get this 5 lots that are right around here so we can complete 6 right in this neighborhood.
We need more lots from the city of Yonkers.
Lots of lots.
I bet you they're going to cooperate. But one of the most interesting things we did with this project was to mount a time-lapse camera up on a telephone pole so that we get an idea of just how crazy the work really was. Jim Whiteside, the project manager here for Habitat in Westchester. You've been more sleep deprived than anybody else in the last 5 days, I know.
Yeah, it's been a struggle.
What part of the construction process here was really unique for you?
For me personally, the SIPS panels were unique. I'd never done that before, and it was a real pleasure to see them go up. It was amazing.
As we just saw in time lapse, it's amazing how they
Absolutely
all
amazing.
climb together. What about some of the other building materials that we introduced here?
The siding is really neat. It goes on very easily. The 8-inch exposure makes it quick to go up.
And of course the volunteers that we had here putting it up, like 10 people at a time.
They were wonderful.
Pounding nails.
They were wonderful.
The windows in the project are easy to install, and they're high energy efficiency windows.
Yeah.
And of course this thing that we're looking at up here is no ordinary exhaust vent. It's a very high-tech, energy efficient one. In fact, we had some experts out here to explain more about all the different components of energy efficiency with this house. Well, joining us now, Janet McIlvain and George James from the Department of Energy, and you're here to help us figure out whether this house is really going to perform well.
That's right. This is sort of the proof of the pudding, Bob. We need these kind of tests to see that the house performs well, and you know the technology aspect is what Department of Energy is contributing to pass.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here, we have the blower door there. We have other test devices that Janet will leave, and she can tell you how this blower door works.
Yeah, how do you test the whole thing?
Well, the first test that we're going to do is to see whether or not the house is leaky. So we'll be looking at what...
And you don't mean whether the rain gets in?
No, I don't mean whether the rain gets in. I mean, are there small holes in the walls and the ceiling and the floor where air comes in that we don't want it to come in? So if that's true, then we'll be able to fix them before we leave.
Right.
So it's a diagnostic test, but it's also a long-term test because we need to know whether or not the house is getting adequate ventilation.
That's one of the big concerns with super insulated houses.
Absolutely.
This is a SIPS panel system
That's
house
right.
that's very tight, very warm, but the big concern is how is it breathing? How are you circulating
That's right.
air?
And I hear that a lot from consumers. They're very concerned about how tight houses are getting. And even builders say, oh, we're tightening too tight. But the real key is to bring that air in a controlled way. You want it to come in as fresh air, not as air that's passing over insulation and all types of chemicals.
So how do we accomplish that, George?
Well, we have a controlled ventilation system here, Bob. Air comes in through the basement, to the gas heater that's down there, and excess air comes in also, so the gas heater is running right and brings air into the house. Upstairs we have what they call a penetrator, something done by Tamarack Industries.
It's kind of that square item on the side of the house.
Yeah, that's right. And that
it's an exhaust system, right?
It's an exhaust system, but it's an intelligent exhaust system. It normally runs at a very low pressure to keep the house balanced. But if they're taking a shower upstairs or something of that sort, they can hit a button there and it'll increase the exhaust rate for a period of time.
Janet, how does the test work?
Well, we use a device called a blower door, which we install in an exterior doorway, and that has a large fan that can depressurize the house by removing the air in the house, basically. We take some measurements, and from those measurements we can tell whether or not air is coming in inappropriate places, like around windows or under door sills. So I'm just going to start the test, and the fan will turn on, and we'll take about 150 measurements. And by doing that, we get a statistical sample of all of the scenarios that you might experience in a typical season. When we finish this test, there's still some questions. We want to leave some sensors in place. This is a sensor that measures relative humidity. And one of the things that we see in houses where there's not a duct system, like this house, is a high buildup of humidity. We expect the ventilation system in this house to control that and thereby stop any kind of mold growth that we would normally see in a really high humid atmosphere.
Right.
We're going to leave this in place and measure it and make sure that it works.
So, Janet, what's the net? Do we pass?
We pass. We finished all our testing, and what we see here is a well-sealed house with good ventilation.
That's great. We'll take a look at the kitchen next, so stick around. We'll be right back.
I notice we have a little more work to do.
You let those volunteers go too quickly, Jim.
Yeah, well, I have a few more things to do, but
yeah,
we're
you'll get them
close.
done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's just take a quick look at the back side of the house because we haven't really focused on it much. The design of the architect called for a nice, comfortable back porch, and this is really an asset for the house because it really relates to the backyard, and it gives everybody in the house an opportunity to have a place, a private place to hang out outdoors. And look at how we've trimmed things out with these wonderful vinyl shutters that are actually operable. You can close them. And the carefree windows, which are high performance. And of course, the last touch is these window boxes, which were brought to the project as well. But let's go inside and take a look at our interiors. Hey, all good things start in the kitchen, and we've got a lovely kitchen in here to show you. One of the key things, I think, when you're designing a kitchen in a tight space, you don't have too many square feet, keep it simple and keep it white. And what we've got here is a nice white double bowl sink from Kohler, a white microwave, a white hood from Braun, and of course a lot of white Kenmore appliances thrown in here, and the white Aristocrat cabinets. Everything with an easy reach. You can go from one to the other without much complication. Of course, the refrigerator is the main deal in here. Lots of color on top of that. We'll be back in a moment with decorator B. Smith to tour the furnished rooms. Last night, the living room at the house looked like this. Overnight, the volunteers cleared out all of the construction debris. Then the carpet installers arrived, put down the padding and wall-to-wall carpet. Next, the furniture was moved in, assembled and arranged. Curtains were hung and plants arrived. Last-minute cleanup and details were attended to. Now the living room looks like this. What a difference. Well, now we're going to tour our interior, and all our selections for furnishings have been done by my friend B. Smith. B. Smith with Style, which is, I guess, the competition. Thanks for coming on.
It's not the
Home
competition.
Again.
I'm so happy to be here with you. This is such an exciting project.
It is an exciting project. It's great to be able to work with real folks as opposed to just do a TV house.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
And for you to get me involved to do the interior, I'm very happy.
I know you went shopping at Macy's and they were very helpful. Tell me how you figured out what to select.
Okay. Everything here is from the Macy's Home Furnishings Gallery,
Right.
and they donated it,
Great.
which was really wonderful. The way I started was I spoke to the homeowner, and I got an idea of some of the things that she was interested in, colors and textures, and this is the palette that I use.
Neutrals.
Neutrals. And the one thing that I thought that was very important when I selected the dining area was to use a round table. This is a modest house.
Right.
And this table has leaves. She can open it up. She can add chairs to it. And the kids are always bringing somebody home.
The chairs are really elegant. I think this lattice back really makes kind of a statement.
Well, it really
aesthetically.
caught my eye. I thought
Yeah.
it was really great.
Yeah.
And the fact that it had this black seat was really nice too, because with kids they can spill anything on it and
Sure.
she'll just wipe it off and
Sure.
that'll be perfect.
B, you've put a lot of plants into this relatively small space. What's the logic here?
I love greenery, and I think that it just brings the outdoors indoors.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to do was to try to find plants that really were manageable.
Yeah, this
That-
is a good choice. This Spathiphyllum blooms all the time, and you really can't kill it.
I have one at home, and I haven't been able to kill it, and
Right.
sometimes I try.
This is a little bit more elaborate.
It is, and it's rather large, but what it does is it adds a nice barrier to the outside here.
Right.
It makes it just a little bit more private, and at the same time, it that earthy green.
Yeah, it is great to have living things around in the whole environment. Now,
I'm going to talk about the living area in a few minutes, but
I want to say
very
hi to Bob
excited.
Riley over here. Yeah, Riley.
Bob.
This has
Hi, Riley. Good to see you.
this whole Blitz Build has gone so fast. I mean, the Home Again audience is seeing the evolution of the house over 13 weeks, but in fact, it's been done in 5 days. And I've hardly seen you because you've been so busy at the other
Oh,
end.
it's been crazy.
Yeah.
It's been what fun.
Yeah.
What fun.
Now, the built-in here that the architect designed is something that you made back at the shop in Massachusetts,
Back in
right?
right. Yeah, he sent me the drawings back there, and that's where I put it together. Basically, it's made of a cabinet grade 3/4-inch veneer plywood.
And you pre-cut all the pieces, but you assembled it here on site.
Well, no, I assembled the main box back in my shop.
Oh, okay.
I put that together back there. I put all the face framing and all of that, which is a solid oak,
Yeah.
1.5 inch stiles and rails back there. What I left off were the 2 end pieces.
I see.
Because my big concern was coming down here with a cabinet that was 5
big.
foot 11 inches, and the hole was 5'6".
And
you know.
what was the reality?
Well, the reality was it was a little tight. It was very tight.
Uh-huh.
So I had made the plywood box 1.5 inches smaller than it should have been. And as it turns out, it was just enough to get it in here.
Yeah, didn't you say the plaster is used thicker plasterboard?
Right. The plasters use 5/8
Yeah.
drywall instead of 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
So
It's a beautiful entertainment center.
That's
And
really
you know,
nice,
what
yeah.
it does to me is it sort of divides the room, divides the space. And the living area, everybody can sort of see what's going on here on television. You've got these beautiful shelves here that
Yeah.
you can put just about anything you want on it, books or little knickknacks, and it's
Right.
quite an interesting piece of
Yeah.
furniture.
There's a lot of storage space in there.
Which
as
is
well as
great.
room for a TV.
Thanks, Riley.
Nice job, Riley.
Thank you.
Now, B, you've selected big furnishings in here, a 3-seater and a 2-seater.
I wanted to make sure I had big, sturdy furnishing. The family, there are 5 people
Right,
and 4
4
kids.
girls, right.
This is very sturdy furniture.
And it looks like it's a sturdy fabric covering it as well.
It certainly is, and that's very important. I wanted to make sure that I had accent colors. And I asked Michelle, who's the homeowner, what her favorite colors were. And we came up with lilacs and mauves, and I like the idea of using different textures
Yeah.
and pillows that are comfy and cozy.
That's very soft looking. Then this one behind you is very, very glamorous.
Absolutely.
This is a
Well,
synthetic, I
there
guess.
are- it is, but it's affordable.
Yeah.
And the color is what makes it look so special. And when you have all those women in the house, they like things just a little special. Yeah, very
Now,
important. And this throw, let me just tell you, I just thought that the throw brought everything together color-wise. But
The
you want to
furnishings
get
you've
to
got
the
here. Well,
furnishings.
I like the woodiness of the 2 pieces you've got here.
They're thick, they're heavy, the kids can bang them up. There's enough storage here, there's always something you want to put away and to store,
Yeah.
and that's really wonderful. And look, you can just sit on here. It's even comfortable. And as I say, when you've got kids, you never know where they're going to end up.
Sure.
So,
They're all-
and this area is tied together. This is a great height. It works well with the window area. And it's always nice to have a lamp. It just warms everything up and it just
Right.
brings it together.
And then you've got more philodendrons, what do you call that, Dracaena, and the mother-in-law's tongue, huh?
Well, think about it. Michelle has 4 girls. She's going to be a heck of a
She's going
mother-in-law,
to be a
isn't
mother-in-law.
she?
Let's take a look upstairs.
Well, I'm dying to show you those bedrooms. Come on, let's go.
right. The key upstairs is the openness of the cathedral ceiling.
Absolutely.
The architect did a really good job of using the volume.
I love this beam
Yeah.
that goes across here.
And the detailing. Again, like the entertainment center down below, this functions as a place for storing linens or for storing games or, you know,
Just
whatnot.
whatever, yeah.
Exactly. And of course, it can also be looked at as a project center. You've set it up with some colorful stuff.
And what I really like about it is the design.
Yeah.
It still looks like it is a special piece of furniture.
Yeah.
It was made for this
Very,
area.
very nice. Now, what have you done in the
Okay.
kids' bedrooms? Wow.
Barbie lives in here.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, very colorful. And what I did is I decorated with sheets.
Was that right?
The window treatment here.
These are sheets?
These are sheets.
Well, you got to sew
Actually, you don't have to sew them. That's already sewn exactly like this. All I had to do is put them through the rod. And the great thing about it is that it's a twin. This is a twin sheet. So you put two twins up, and you're saving yourself a little time and money. We like that.
And if you get bored with the look, you could still
Wash them and put them back on the
back on
bed.
the bed.
One of the things, I had an extra panel from a window at my house.
Yeah.
And I brought that with me, and I decided to use this over top of actually over top of a plastic
shower curtain.
shower curtain. So, you know, I mean, kids, they can
and
paint
stickers.
and have fun.
I see you've got stickers on
Stickers, right. So,
Right.
you know, sometimes we complain when they stick things around, but these stickers eventually will come off anyway. So,
Yeah.
no muss, no fuss. It's pretty, it's festive,
Sure.
and it feels girly.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Now, the room is 10 by 8.
Right.
And again, here you get the sense of the volume because of the cathedral ceiling treatment.
And you know, in New York, so many people live in apartments
Right.
that this gives such a spacious feel.
You know, this hall does work almost like a family room, and another thing that makes it for me is the architects spec 3 of these lavalier fixtures here and another one over there so that it helps enlarge the space even more.
They're nice and clean. But this is what I love. This is
Yeah.
really, I think, the center in this area.
Sure.
And Michelle told me that all of her children know how to use the computer.
Oh, yeah.
Even the youngest.
Kids nowadays, that's
Yeah.
for sure. But they've got plenty of storage room here with the cabinets, which are basically your aristocrat kitchen cabinets used in a different location. And I like your use of playful color throughout, though.
Exactly. It's sort of just like that crayon, those crayon colors, you know?
Yeah, and
that's
just
what
the throw
kids
on
do.
the floor and the bean bag.
Right.
My gosh, look what you've done here. Now, just last week you were stenciling all of this.
That's right, and now I'm finished, and it's very fairy tale, very childlike, and the kids love this color. So I brought the gingham in because it's fresh, and it just makes this room feel light.
Lilac colored gingham, and again, the carpeting, the wall to wall is a very, it's a bland neutral color, but by throwing a little purple rug on the floor, you really do a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I think it's time we go downstairs and try to meet the new homeowner and the
Okay.
kids. I know you have a surprise for them,
I
don't
certainly do. Come on, let's go.
you? Bow wow.
Coming up next, the new homeowners receive a very special housewarming gift.
Okay, Michelle Hayes and her lovely daughters are the lucky new owners of this Habitat for Humanity house. Congratulations, Michelle.
Thank you.
Now, you put in a lot of hours of sweat equity working on other Habitat houses in the neighborhood, right? How many
Yes.
hours?
I put over 750 hours.
Good
in.
for you. And that qualifies as your down payment on this house,
Yes,
right?
it does.
And then, of course, now you will be, just like everybody else in America, you'll have a mortgage.
Yes, and taxes.
And taxes and everything else.
Water bill.
Introduce us to your beautiful daughters
This
here.
is Daniqua, which is 9.
Hi, Daniqua.
This is
Ebony's 5.
My name is Shadira. I'm 7.
And how are you? You're 7. Okay. Well, I've been touring the inside of the house with B. Smith, who's done a wonderful job of helping you select stuff. But B's getting ready to come out because she's got a little bit of a surprise she wanted to show you.
what?
B, come on right out here.
Well, you know, when you decorate
Hey,
the
girls.
interior of a house,
Ebony Shishi.
you also
got a
have to
surprise
have
for
something
you.
special for inside
Oh,
the
yeah,
house.
Whoa!
This is your puppy, and it's a
Camilla.
girl.
All right.
Yes.
What are you gonna name her?
You got to take your time and figure out a real good name. But we're running out of time, and so this is a nice picture to leave behind. Come home again next time. We'll be starting a brand new project. Till then, I'm Bob Vila. It's great to have you home again. For lots of information and resources for your home improvement project, check out my website at bobvila.com.